What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down, what is causing this nice push higher today, and what shorts are doing. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 4.55%, piggybacking off of the market's optimism, which was brought on because of CPI. Both month over month and year over year did come in slightly lower than forecast, so that is the best case scenario ultimately played out. So market is rallying because of that. 211 the low, 227 the high, so pretty good stuff for that. And then 95.1 million shares being traded, 92.8 is the average. So we have started to see a uptick in the volume recently, so may be insinuating that some big money is getting in, possibly. Of course, based on what was stated in the Q4 earnings, I think it is fair to assume that some pretty big things are coming right down the pipeline. So let me know your viewpoint on that. But no actual news from Lucid itself, no SEC filings today. Just I think the only thing that came out recently was this. So yesterday, the Ask Me Anything, I believe it was live, so I haven't been able to see kind of a recording of it. I didn't tune in, regrettably, but this one I wasn't really overly excited for, in my opinion, either way, because I didn't really think that there would be that much, and I haven't seen any individual posting about this, so most likely this was just a good FYI type of thing, engaging with Lucid members, but nothing really to go out and buy Lucid because of that. But today's shorts is very interesting. So there's a lot of different stocks that I do look at on a daily basis, and including what shorts are doing, and shorts across the board are returning because I think CPI did really throw a wrench into their big mentality, the fact that there was going to be a recession coming and blah blah blah. But in Lucid's case, for whatever reason, shorts are doubling down. I'm not really sure why, but shorts are increasing 596,000 shares. 23.02% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 278.83 million shares overall are being shorted. And I'm sure some of you might be wondering why that did change. Ultimately, 2 times per month, you have the actual exchange disclosing the true amount of shares being shorted, and that report did come out yesterday. It's always delayed, so as of February the 28th, there was 268.24 million shares overall are being shorted, and that works out to be 22.13% of the free float. So technically from February the 14th to the 28th, shorts did return roughly 3 million shares more than what we did previously think. So again, that's kind of a good thing in some aspects, but still at the end of the day, 23.02% is very, very high. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below, and if you think that a squeeze potentially might be coming. You're seeing a lot of chatter, not just about Lucid, but a lot of other stocks now, given the recent data, and now that the market feels like the world isn't ending, now people are thinking, okay, time to move higher, and shorts have really doubled down in a lot of cases, so there might be some squeezes coming down the pipeline. So let me know if you think Lucid is one of those that could. But aside from that, 365,000 in calls, 3.26 million in puts, 54% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature. And a couple of big candles, so 1.7 million between 8:30 and 8:35. You had 336 between 9:15 and 9:20. And then as well, 945 to 950, 720,000. If we look at one of these, just organize it based on premiums, you could see $2 and it looks like 250 puts. So roughly that's kind of where people are basing their transactions from. That $2 put was a sell. So essentially that is bullish. There was a 25% premium that was done on that. So essentially factoring in where the price was, this is why it's coding it as neutral, as you can kind of see, but generally that is rather bullish if you ask me. So definitely take the time to research options, but a lot of big money is starting to get into Lucid through options as well as common stock. But based on this, of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 250 mark for the foreseeable future. So pretty nice recovery. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 2. So it's interesting to see as well, the bears no longer think it's going to be sub $1.50 or $2. So that's kind of a good thing. So optimism is definitely spreading, but These are all the transactions that are occurring so far on the secondary market above $100,000. One sell first thing, then you had that string of buying, obviously because of CPI, causing Lucid to really go up nice and high right here. That's where I hit the high of, what was that, $2.27. These are all the transactions that are occurring on the dark pool though. So a lot of big transactions as per usual. Dark pool is often enough linked to shorting as well as other large kind of entities, with it at $2.19 trading between this pivot and this S1. Honestly, I don't see this 263 being touched unless something big and dramatic does happen, which most likely a lot of the data points coming out next week could be that point to really bring it there. And on a side note, for those of you that believe in the gap that needs to be filled, ultimately that's kind of the high end there. So I think that there's a lot of points signaling that this pivot is going to be touched. Just the market is looking for a nice push. We had CPI, so it shows that the consumers are out there spending the money, whatever else. But I think the market still needs a nice little extra push to really push it to higher levels. So as far as right now, I think that there's just a little bit more upside. So let me know your viewpoint on that. No new analyst ratings. A lot of good articles just talking about Lucid's technicals and about the Gravity, but nothing really new information. But on the actual chart today, it did break above that ALMA, so that is currently sitting at $2.11. And looking at stochastic RSI, it is very oversold, so that could really work in its favor over the next couple of trading days. We have PPI coming out tomorrow, but I don't really see that causing that much disruption all in all. But I think right now Lucid just needs to put out some piece of news associated to one of the partnerships that they've brought up, or just some other piece of news maybe they have in their back pocket. That is what is really going to drive Lucid higher. So yeah, it's a fun time. I think Lucid is one of those stocks that it's very, very difficult to predict where the bottom might be. But if you are into dollar cost averaging, I think that is probably the most advantageous kind of scenario in Lucid's case. But let me know your viewpoint on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. What's your viewpoint on CPI? So do you think that this is signaling a market bottom, or do you think that this is just a bull trap? I know some people might be somewhat hesitant and cautious about everything because it's kind of funny. 2 days prior, the world seemed to be like it was ending because a recession was coming and everything was going to go down. And 2 days later, now it's like, okay, what's next? It's just, this is a kind of a comical market all in all. But let me know what you've been doing with Lucid. One final thing, pop over to my Discord. It is completely free. A lot of good people talking about stocks, options, crypto, everything that you need. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.